Hey guys, I don't know, this could be my last check-in. I might do another one later. Um, Not doing that great. I got off the phone like I said I would. I took a Valium, had a cigarette, called Direct Line. I was still pretty emotional. And so that didn't really work out well. I think between me crying so heavily and being hard to understand. Excuse me. I've got Sam under my lap, so she's like playing with things. Yeah, so between me crying heavily and trying to talk about what I need, I said I'm just struggling with overactive thoughts and I need help with grounding. But then, I don't know, she was like coughing into the phone at the same time and then getting me to repeat myself, which is really hard to do and is really, it's one of my triggers. It's really shit. It just takes me back to being a kid and my parents like yelling at me to speak clearly about whatever I'm upset about, which means that I have to suppress whatever I'm upset about so that I can use my words properly. And it's been the dynamic of my life for so long. That's why I can talk about all these traumatic events, because I've pushed them to a separate area of me where I don't. Yeah, I don't know. I can see it and sort of, I can feel it in my body, but I don't feel the emotions. I don't let myself engage the emotions because otherwise I won't be able to talk. And then if I try to talk through that, I'm a breath holder. I do need to be reminded to breathe. So yeah, I got off the phone from Direct Line pretty quickly, and I thought about calling them again, but I thought I'd give Lifeline a go because I was struggling there. And the Lifeline counsellor was lovely in listening to me, and I felt heard, and he acknowledged that what I'm going through right now is really intense but admirable, and that I should be proud of myself for sticking through it and to just go to the gym. So I was like, yep, sure, I'll do that. He asked me if I had a suicide plan. I don't have a plan necessarily, as I've mentioned and as I've told a couple of people. Yes, I do have over 100 paracetamol tablets in the house, but I've tried to end my life with paracetamol a lot of times, and I don't know, it's not how I want to go. If I think about it too long, my body will actually start giving me phantom stomach and liver pains, like my body is shutting down as a deterrent, which is pretty effective. And he asked me a couple of times, he's like, do you seriously not have a plan? I'm like, I seriously don't have a plan, because I know that if I take pills, I'll call an ambulance, or I'll tell someone who will call an ambulance, or I'll end up at emergency or whatever, and it'll just be this massive inconvenience. Staff resources when they've got other people to look after, it's just, yeah. Especially when you've got borderline and they see BPD and that you've just taken paracetamol tablets, they just take it as a attention-seeking cry for help. They'll pump you full of fluids until you're well enough again and kick you out the door, which isn't what I need. Even the counsellor said that he couldn't believe that I got kicked out of the AOD program for the reasons that I did. I haven't even really talked about that. I don't know if I've talked about Pete, and how Pete's in fucking jail. I spoke to the Metropolitan Remand Centre today because Pete wants permission to call me. Just said he could. I don't have a lot of friends right now, so if he's happy to just be friends and doesn't want anything more from me, and the crush I had on him can be left in the past, then I'm happy to be his friend, because I know that he's going through some shit right now, and that everything that's happened, why he couldn't be at court with me, he's not going to get his kids back in February. He's messed his goals up. And I guess, I don't know. Funnily enough, when I told Alex about Pete being in jail for stabbing someone, said, well, you have to cut contact with him. You can never speak to him again, blah, 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 blah. Yeah. Yeah, should be that just like fucking black and white, shouldn't it? But for me, it's not, because I sit there and I can empathize with how crazy your mind is when you're trying not to use, and then when you have, an ex or whatever really pushing your buttons. I know that he was really worried about his daughter being around his ex while she was using meth, and DHS wouldn't get involved to help him get her back, and she was hitting him up for money. I have mentioned that. I know that I have. So I can see his side. And I feel sympathy for him, and I guess we'll just see what he wants from me. Because obviously I don't want to slide backwards. But I don't know. Like I was saying to the guy on Lifeline, I don't feel like I'm making much headway. But then I do watch back, or I go back and I look back at events. 2 months ago is when the whole Erica thing happened. A month ago, I don't know, I was still pretty suicidal. Now I'm not suicidal. I mean, I have suicidal intrusive thoughts. I think about suicide a lot, but it's not in my heart anymore. And it's not from a stubbornness. It's because I know that death and change are the only two things inevitable in this life. So why rush death when change can come at any time? So I do have faith that circumstances will change. I'm also telling myself nothing changes if nothing changes, but I don't know. So I've kind of given up on today. Valium and wine at 4 o'clock. Or 5 or whatever the fuck. No, it's even later than that now. So it was probably about 5 when I did that. I'll take my meds soon. I caved and having some stuff delivered to the house. Not by anyone dodgy. So, Mum, if you're watching, I'm sorry. But this person isn't going to cause me any harassment or anything like that. I can guarantee that, okay? It's a woman for the first thing, okay? I'm not going directly through any dealers. It's just, I don't know. It is the fucking way it is. It's like I was talking to my client about it yesterday. It's like 95% of people can smoke pot and it has no fucking problem. I'm just in that percentage. I'm in that shitty small percentage. I'm always the fucking exception to any fucking rule. No, fucking going to the Middle East, getting a lung infection from being in air conditioning all the time. And so, you know, Tegan, bless her, love Tegan. We don't talk anymore because I was such a cunt. But Tegan's good quality. Glad I met her over in the Middle East. How did I get onto Tegan? Oh, that's right. She's a travel agent. She works for Flight Centre, so she got a discount on the flights to get over there. But also because of that, she was super prepared. Like, when you go to developing nations, they like give you a list of, you know, things to take, but especially as like you're sort of supposed to take your own first aid kit, have your own painkillers, band-aids, and they do recommend that you take some broad spectrum antibiotics over with you just in case you get sick. It'll be much easier and cheaper than, you know, trying to get healthcare internationally. So yeah, fortunately she had some broad spectrum antibiotics which I was able to start taking, and they started kicking in relatively quickly, which is good. So well, in fact, that I think 2 days after I started taking them was when we went to the Blue Hole in Doha, which is like an amazing site to go free diving. Like, if anyone's a fan of diving, or if you like looking at global locations, I definitely recommend Google image searching it. It's just stunning. It's like a coral reef. It's like 150, 200 meter just drop, and this whole wall is just covered in coral. I can't deep sea dive. I didn't bother trying to get my license for it because I figured, being a smoking asthmatic, there's no point. My lung capacity just wouldn't cope with it. But I'd lost enough weight kind of at that point in my life that I could float. So I learned to snorkel when I was in Egypt. I did it a lot better than I did when I was in Noumea. And I felt fine at the time, and then when I came back, I was so horridly sunburnt, and we couldn't believe it because obviously in the Middle East we're out in the sun all the time. If we weren't, you know, so it's like, why of all days did I get sunburnt that day? And Tegan shares that, oh yeah, it's a side effect that's only supposed to affect 5% of people, like 1 in 20, that it makes you photosensitive. So you're supposed to avoid being in the sunlight. So yay. And that's when I had to stop taking the antibiotics, because I wasn't going to give up my holiday and spend it fucking sunburnt when I'm in a hot area, hot, beachy, beautiful area of the world. So yeah, of course I would fall into the small margin of people that shit just doesn't work for. But then as I say that, I think about conversations with other people about medications, and that at least I can take mirtazapine or Seroquel to help me sleep. Other people I know have the opposite reaction to it, where it makes their muscles seize up and their brain not function properly. So I guess, you know, count my blessings where I can, acknowledge my blessings where I have them. But yeah. I just feel so alone, and I don't know, like, it's adorable that I've got this little kitten sitting at my lap that just wants company. Even though, like, I've yelled at her or chased her with a spray bottle to stay away from Sal's food, or to stay away from Sal, or this, that, or whatever, she keeps coming to me just to feel comforted. Whereas Sally is hiding in Luna's house. If she's not in Luna's house, she's hiding on one of the chairs. If she's on one of the chairs, she doesn't stay there long, because then Sam will go and sit under the chair and like wait for her, or try to get her attention. So yeah, anyway, Sam will be going in 2 days. Less than 48 hours. And then, you know, another 48 hours after that, hopefully, Sel will settle back in and realise that she's got the house back to herself. I'm going to force her into a situation with another cat, as much as I fucking really miss Luna, because Luna would be here and Luna would let me hold her. Luna would sit on my chest. Luna would be there for me right now. And I'm sure there's all these fucking spiritual people watching this or whatever saying, oh, there, she's around you now and she's with you all the time. She's not with me all the time. I know the times when she's with me. I even begged the gods the other night to let her come back just for a night. Begged Persephone and Hades to let Luna come back for a night just so I wouldn't feel so alone. Maybe that's what I did 2 nights ago and that's why I felt okay yesterday. But I don't have that feeling today and I don't know why. And then I'm talking to other people and they seem to be triggered by like past grief as well. So I don't know if it's just astrology or just traumaversaries or just a shitty fucking time of year. I don't fucking know. I really don't. This time 4 years ago is when I tore my shoulder. Anyway. I wanted to come back on, I guess, and just assure people that I'm not going to attempt suicide. I am not going to hurt myself. But I'm not getting through today clean. And I'm sorry. And if that means that I lose my house, or have to shut down my business, or have to fucking go back to rehab, be in therapy for the next 6 fucking months of my fucking life. Maybe that's just what needs to happen. Maybe I'm being too stubborn in saying, no, I want to be here, I want to make it work, I want to work around it, because I don't. Of course I can get clean in a completely different situation. I just need to know how to be clean in my everyday life. And I just feel like a fucking inconvenience to everyone. So when I try to reach out, other people are going through their own shit. Other people don't have time. Other people are seeing their friends because they have friends. I don't have any fucking friends. It's really hard to make friends as an adult. I fucking hate it. You know, this lifeline counsellor asked me if I've made any friends at the gym. I'm like, I've only just started going, mate. And because of the festive season, there's not really been a lot of group fitness classes running. So, you know, there's not even reception there half the time when I've been going. So, you know, it's just a busy time of year and still waiting for businesses to come back to operating. But yeah, anyway. No one will watch this, but in case someone does, I'm okay. I don't know how to be strong today. I don't know who to turn to try to learn how to be strong, for advice on how to be strong. I don't feel like anyone really gets how things feel or what I'm going through or whatever. Which just makes me feel even more alone. I don't know. And then my brain's like, oh, well, that's what forums and online groups and therapy groups and shit like that are for. And it's like, yeah, but I don't like... I've tried going to NA. I have. And for the most part, I can stick with it. But they're like, I don't know. I don't want to say they're culty because they're not ultimately, but there are a few people really just have taken it on as dogma because that's what's kept them abstinent. And there's a specific part in the 12 steps that says that you are powerless against your addiction, and that's why you need to surrender yourself to a higher power like God or something to help you through your addiction. You're afflicted with this illness and you can't get through it on your own. And I acknowledge that I need support, but my addiction is my problem, and therefore it is my responsibility to fix it. And yes, I will call upon the universe and my guides and my friends and the people who say are my support and the people who are my support. I will call upon them every time when I remember to. But I am not powerless against my addiction. I'm not. I've made it through 6-7 week stints of sobriety before. I can do it again. And I will. But not today. Because today I want to be silly and take a lot of different things to just knock me out to end today. And that's what I've been doing the last couple of days. And it's not serving me well. So we'll find another way to cope somehow. But not today. It's too hard today. I can only be calm because I know it's coming. And that's shit. Don't worry. I am fucking beating myself up for it. I am nothing but a useless fucking drug addict. A high-functioning drug addict. But useless. I'm just going to keep looking for people who see my value. That's all. And I'm not going to find them if I exit early. So, I'm still here. Okay? Love you all. Hope you love me too. If you do, please send me a message and let me know. I don't know how many times I've posted saying, can you please get in touch with me if you see this? Because I'm feeling really isolated, even by my cat. So I feel really alone. When I went for a walk today, no feathers dropped on my path. A gumnut dropped on me, but no feathers or leaves for me to notice, which are usually how my guides talk to me. So I am feeling really, really alone right now. Just trying to remind myself that will pass too. Anyway, I jumped on here to do this video to try and alleviate some worry. I hope that I have done that, because I hope that I can at least show, I've at least demonstrated that I have been introspective and reflective and weighed up a lot of shit of what's the right thing to do, what's not the right thing to do, and this is the best thing I could come up with. Okay. If I don't talk to you later tonight, talk to you tomorrow. Bye.